So informal communication, we have the advantage of clarity and precision. Spontaneous exchange of information that occurs among individuals within an organization. And you can also have conversation by using quick messaging apps. So it is more oral and immediate. It includes gossips and rumors. So having gossips and rumors sometimes can create problems within the organization. Hello everyone, I am Nikhilavati S, Faculty of Commerce, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Welcome to the fourth session on the topic Basics of Communication. In the previous session, we had discussed about the principles for effective communication as well as the barriers to communication. In today's session, let us discuss on the topic formal and informal communication. As we all know, communication is the lifeblood of every organization. So in any organization, communication is the most important thing in order to share any kind of information or ideas or to give instruction to the employees, etc. So it includes all kinds of conversation that happens between all the stakeholders within the organization. Based on the nature of communication, communication can be divided into two categories. One is formal communication and the other one is informal communication. In simple terms, formal communication is all about the conversation or the communication that happens within or between the employees in the organization regarding work or whatever the communication that is done with a purpose. And informal communication is that spontaneous conversation that happens between the people in the organization, may be related to the personal opinions or other social discussions. Now let us learn what is the difference between formal communication and informal communication. So here formal refers to the official channels of communication within an organization. This type of communication is structured and follows a specific chain of command. Here the communication or the information that passes within that defined channels is always structured. So structured here means it follows a specific format. For example, if you take any type of letter or a business letter or report or emails or memos, so all these contains a specific format in which we have to write the information. For example, if we take a letter, there is a specific format for writing the firm address or the to address, salutation, subject, etc. And it follows a specific chain of command. So here communication flows through a chain of command. That means, for example, if we take any organization, there will be basically 3 levels of the management. For example, top level management, middle level management or lower level management. For example, here if an employee from the lower level management wants to communicate with the middle level or the top level, there is a chain of command that passes through. So based on that, he has to inform first to the middle level, and from middle level it goes to the top level, and adheres to the organization's rules and policies. So here the communication has to follow certain rules and policies of the organization. Then it is often documented. So whatever the communication that happens, either the stakeholders within the organization or organization to another external organization. So all this communication is documented. It is retained for future use. It may be used for either reporting or decision making and also providing instructions. So reports may include sales report, performance report, etc. And the minutes of the meeting can be used for decision making or to give instructions to the employees. Now let us move in detail to the formal communication by knowing its characteristics. So here, as we studied in the definition also, formal communication is structured and planned. So it is structured because it follows a specific format to be followed in all types of communication that happens, especially that work related, that happens in a organization, and it is planned. So all the communication, either the reports or correspondence, minutes of a meeting or memos or notice that is sent, it's all done with a purpose. So those communications are pre-planned. Then it is formal communication has a chain of command. So for example, as you can see here, let us imagine here as he is a CEO of the organization, and the persons here are the different functional managers. For example, they are financial manager or HR manager or marketing manager, etc. So imagine these are employees. So for example, if any employee wants to communicate to the higher authority, he has to first communicate to its immediate supervisors or managers, like functional managers. Then they are going to inform the CEO regarding whether this particular information should be thought about or decisions are to be made or not. So here the formal communication follows a chain of command. Either the information will follow from employees to the CEO, like from bottom to the top, or either it will flow from top to the bottom. Then the formal communication is documented. That means all the communications, it might be the report that the employee present to the manager, or the memos or notice, or any employee instructions that are need to be given for the employees. It will be in the form of manuals. So all these are retained and it is documented for future purpose or decision making. Then we have formal communication is done with the official purpose. That means whatever the communication that happens between the people in the organization or from one organization with the other client or any other business or with the financial institutions, etc. So all these are done with a purpose. That purpose is to ensure that all the operations in the business organization is running smoothly or not. So to ensure whether the operations or the organization is moving towards achieving the objectives of the business, it has to communicate properly. The examples of formal communication may include memos or emails, various reports, then conferences, etc. So as you all know, memos and emails are the most common form of communication that are used in any organization, because it is easy to send and reach to all the employees. And in meetings and conferences, a specific topic will be discussed, and as a form of that, minutes will be recorded from the meeting or the discussions that has happened, which is useful for decision making. And reports may include either performance report or sales report, etc. Moving on to the advantages and disadvantages of formal communication. So in formal communication, we have the advantage of clarity and precision. So whatever the communication that happens with related to the work are documented and it is done with a purpose. So it will be carefully drafted or created. So it provides us clarity of the information. So either the grammatical mistakes or other mistakes will be rechecked and will be corrected. And in most of the cases, the formal communication, specifically letters or reports or minutes of a meeting, will be crafted by using limited words. So it will be precise. Then the formal communication has the advantage of maintaining accountability. So accountability generally means like to be responsible for what we have done. So here in formal communication, accountability means that we will come to know who has communicated this information or who has sent to whom. For example, in a letter we can understand the from address or by looking at the to address, we can understand what is this letter is all about and who has sent it to whom. And we can, as it is documented also, even in later stages or in future period, we can go back to that particular document and refer like who has sent this information. Then formal communication provides consistency. That means here the sharing of information or the channel or the flow of information that happens, it is done or it maintains uniformity in sharing the information, and it is done consistently throughout the organization and throughout the year. Then coming to the disadvantages of formal communication, here the formal communication is time consuming because it takes lot of time to craft that particular message and recheck whether it is right or wrong. So once if we prepare a report, we have to check whether the values or mentioned in that particular report is right or not, and then we have to go for grammatical check. So before sending it to the managers or to other clients, etc. Then here we have the problem of inflexibility. Inflexibility because it is always done according to the rules and regulations. You have to follow certain policies before and format before crafting that particular formal communication or a message, or when you are speaking with somebody, like it also depends how you have to speak to a manager, how you have to speak to a CEO, or how you have to do a presentation in a meeting or conference, etc. And it follows certain chain of command, so it is quite difficult to make changes like as you wish. Then it is impersonal. It is impersonal because it does not involve any kind of personal matters. It is always related to the official matters or the work related matters. So moving on to the informal communication. Informal communication is often referred to as the grapevine. It is the unofficial and spontaneous exchange of information. So here informal communication is always, it is not planned or it is done with a purpose. So for example, if you are an employee in the organization and you see your colleague coming from there, you suddenly ask or say hello or ask how are you. So it is always spontaneous. It is not planned and done, or it is not as per some rules and regulations. So it is spontaneous. So it is the spontaneous exchange of information. So it occurs among the individuals or the employees or the people working within an organization. And this type of communication does not follow the official channels and is often more casual and personal. So it doesn't have any official channels or a flow of command for doing this type of communication. So it's a friendly conversation and it is more casual and related to the personal matters. And it is that type of communication or a conversation that happens between colleagues, friends, and even between different levels of the hierarchy. So let us know more about informal communication by looking to its characteristics. So here informal communication is spontaneous and unstructured. So here the conversation that happens is as a means of social behavior. It occurs or emerges out of or on the spot. It is not planned and it is unstructured. It does not follow any type of format or rules and regulations how you have to communicate. So it also includes like you are discussing about your personal matters. For example, you talk to your colleague in a cafeteria or discuss over a coffee. So all this is not structure or it doesn't follow any kind of chain of command or any channel of communication. Then we have, it is flexible. So informal communication is flexible because you can change the topic and discuss whatever you want. But you cannot do it while giving a presentation at the conference. But when you are discussing with your friends or group of colleagues, either at the canteen or in the library, it's not like you have to stick to one particular topic. You can discuss whatever you want. Personal and rational. So personal and rational here means the conversation that happens here is more about the personal matters or personal things. Sometimes it might be based on the different opinions of your friends and colleagues, or sometimes it may also include about talks regarding their experiences, or it might be the gossips about other employees, or about the work in the organization, etc. And it is oral and immediate. So here the informal communication happens like face to face, where you can get immediate response from the to the person whom you are talking to. And you can also have conversation by using quick messaging apps. So it is more oral and immediate. Some of the examples of informal communication may also include like using various messaging apps, maybe like WhatsApp, Facebook or Instagram, etc. to talk to your friend and colleagues when you are in the break time or when you are in the organization. It may include casual conversations like that. So let us know the advantages and disadvantages of informal communication. So in informal communication, we have the advantage of speed. Informal communication is usually made faster compared to formal communication, because informal communication happens on spot and it will be either face to face or it happens to a quick messaging apps. So it does not go through any kinds of approval, it does not follow any specific format. So it is done faster. Then we have the advantage of building relationships. So whatever the information or the informal communication that you have within an organization, it helps to share your emotions or personal matters with the other friends, or form friends, or to share with the other colleagues and form or build good relationship. Then it provides flexibility, as you need not follow any kind of rules and regulations, and whenever you want to converse, you can have a friendly chat or a conversation. So it provides flexibility where you can adapt to various topics or involve any kind of discussions in your talks or a friendly conversation. Inaccuracy here means, since the informal communication is not as per any kind of structure or a format, or it is not documented, we cannot assume, or the information shared can be sometimes incomplete or inaccurate. So we can't identify who has told this or who has spread these rumors or gossips, etc. Then it includes gossips and rumors. So having gossips and rumors sometimes can create problems within the organization, or it may create problems in your relationship with your friends and colleagues. So it's a disadvantage of informal communication. Then lack of accountability. So here, since it involves all kinds of gossips and rumors and it is spread faster, we can't identify who has spread this information or idea. So it is difficult to maintain accountability. So if any negative comment is passed and spread within the organization, nobody tells that he or she has communicated about that particular topic, or they have commented, etc. So this was all about advantages and disadvantages of informal communication. So today we have learned about what is formal communication and what is informal communication, and we have discussed the advantages and disadvantages of both formal and informal communication. So as we have understood, formal communication follows a structure, where informal communication does not have a proper format or a structure. And formal communication is done for decision making and for future uses, and it is documented, whereas informal communication, we have it for either building a relationship and to have a good time with our colleagues and friends. So this was all about formal and informal communication. Hope you all have understood it. Thank you.